Hello everybody, this is Alyssa from Mank Arts and Crafts, and today I have a post review for you for Milagroslaluna from Jasmine Becket-Griffith. So this is the kit that I did for the JBG along, and I'll have the details for the wonderful hosts for this this event that I did, which was Crafting with Shay, and then Emeralds and Fairy Lights. So I'll have both of their channels linked below, and I'm going to kind of get into the details of this canvas and this kit for you. So this was a 51 by 64 poured glue full drill. It had 56 colors. It was a round kit, and it was charted for 5 ABs. I started this project on the 6th of July, and I finished it on the 13th of July, and it took me 28 hours and 23 minutes to complete. And I did this, like I said, for the JBG along, and I used, and like I said, it had 5 ABs, no rhinestones, but I did use a whole lot more than that, and I'll kind of go into that a little bit. Tina from DP with Sparklers, and then Cheryl Gerhard also, who helps out Tina over with DP with Sparklers with some of her blinging projects. They had put together like some recommendations for what to do with this particular kit and posted them specifically for this event for this canvas. And this is a discontinued archived kit. I know everybody's like, show us the kit, like show us the money, show us the kit. And I will in a minute, but I want to do the talking first. I'm still going to do the post review because I kind of wanted to show the bling that I've done. I think I'm going to start calling these like Bling That Thing. I feel like I've heard somebody say that, and I can't remember where I heard that from or who said it. So if you know, if there's somebody else out there who's started calling like their blinging projects Bling That Thing, I feel like I don't want to like take credit for that because I feel like I've heard somebody say it. I just can't remember which creator has called it that. But that's what I want to start calling these projects, are Bling That Thing. So this is what I'm calling one of my Bling That Thing projects. This is by far the most bling that I have put in a canvas, by far. But it was so much fun. So much fun. I will preface this and say that this canvas was extremely frustrating to work on. I couldn't use my normal putty. I usually use either Mary Mud or Pity Putty, and I could not use either with this kit because the drills would not stick to the canvas at all. If I used that, they would just stay on my pen and they wouldn't even stick to this canvas. So I ended up, one of my subscribers had a wonderful suggestion, and I'm like so thankful that she had that suggestion. And she recommended that I use my Not Your Mama's Mud that I have, which I haven't really used because I don't like having to actually tactile touch the stuff and pull it out of like the tin that it comes in. Because it comes like this, and the way I use my mud is I take the flat of mud or putty and I stick my pen into it and I kind of like wiggle it down and then I go shunk, and then I just clean up the edges and I'm golden. This, I have to then fill my multi-placer. I have to fill a 10 placer from this. I can't, like, how am I supposed to do that? And I have like cat hair in it. How am I it's not, I don't like touching it. Like, I have to get it out of there, and it's, I don't like having to touch stuff. So for me, it's kind of like, I don't like doing this, and yeah. And it doesn't work well because this, for me personally, I found that this is not my preferred stuff because it's kind of like this pseudo wax type stuff, and it doesn't, like, my drills don't stick to it well. So it's kind of like this medium of finding something where I had to find something that was less sticky than the canvas, and the canvas was extremely not sticky, but I had to find something that my drills would stick to less than they would stick to the canvas, and that's what the Not Your Mama's Mud worked well for that, which was good because then I had I could actually use it because I haven't been using this because it's not my preferred use. Some people swear by it, and muds and putties and everything else are very, very personal, and everybody has what works well for them and how they place. I am a very like hard placer, and for how I place, I really, really, really like my Mary Mud and my Pity Putty, and those work extremely well for me and how I place. And using this was a struggle and was not my preferred way of placing. But for this canvas, I had to use this because nothing else worked, and it was extremely frustrating, and I was like, oh, it was driving me absolutely bonkers. But that's what I had to use because the canvas was the adhesive was so horrible. And then when I would kind of like get a section down, the drills, once I kind of got them stuck, I would take my brayer and I would like roll them down and like really push them into the adhesive once they were in. And I did that. So I probably like brayered each section, like, well, I don't work in sections, but brayered like the portions of this canvas as I worked on it, probably a solid like 5 times, and they're sticking really well. I haven't had an issue with popping drills so far, so that's not been a problem, but it was very frustrating. So now let me get into the important part, now that I've talked for forever and a day about how the canvas itself was, which this is like, and this is a Diamond Art Club canvas, and it was horrible to work on, absolutely horrible to work on. But we will go into what I actually did. So these were the recommendations that I kind of wrote them down on a piece of paper, so it was easy for me to see them all in one place. And because of that, so when we look at this, I'll kind of show you what I did. So I kitted up everything. There's this gap here because I needed this big container from the 310. These are the leftover drills. I needed the 310 because there's a lot of 310 in this. I needed that extra container. Once I emptied it, I had to like take it and steal it to use to kit up another kit. So that's why this spot is empty, because normally it would be full with that empty container that the 310 was in. But I did the 310 in the entire canvas first, and then I went through and did all of the charted special drills for what I wanted to do, so that way I knew where they were going to go, and I would say, okay, I'm going to do the moon. So I will show you what I did, and we will go from there. So basically I kitted up all of the regular colors, and then I went through and I said, okay, for the moon, I need these things, and I basically said, all right, these are the crystals that I need. So I used clear sparklers. So I have some clear sparklers in here. I have some coffee sparklers in here. I have some silver sparklers, pewter sparklers, then I have some glitter drill, one glitter drill, this 600 glitter drill, and then I have a bunch of ABs, and then I have a bunch of, I don't know how that one got down here, because I tried to keep them in order, ABs, and then coming down I have 4 crystals that I added as well. So I'll go over those, and then at the end, there were very few charted. When I laid them out and saw what was charted for the purple flower up in the corner, I decided I wanted more to match what was in the rest of the canvas. It didn't feel like there was enough. So I added 3 more ABs from my stash that were not perfect matches in any way. I was just like, those look close enough. So I added 3 more to the purple flower up in the corner. And that's what you'll see right here, because that was not originally charted. So I'm going to pull this off to the side so you can see this gorgeous, gorgeous kit. And I'm still trying to figure out a way to do this without, because I do most of my filming in the evenings for you guys. And in the evenings or in the nighttime, like I don't have any kind of ambient light. So it's not like I can use natural light for filming. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get like the reflection of my ring light off of the canvas for you guys. I need to get like a slight incline to this, so that way when you see it, it's kind of like inclined like that. That's what I need to do. But I have yet to figure that out for you all. At some point I will, because it annoys me seeing that glare of the ring light on here. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a pan, but look at her. Is she not absolutely incredible? Oh my goodness. And then as we come down, look all the way down. You can see a little bit of the shimmer into her hands, but look at that. Oh. Like I'm going to come up and you can see, like, let's see if we can even see. Look at all of that shimmer. So as we look in here, it was already charted for ABs into the greens. And now as we look into this pink flower, you can see you're kind of catching a little bit of the glimmer of the rhinestones. There's two different crystals in here. There's this red crystal, and then there's this pink crystal here, which is a really pretty pink. It was already charted for, I believe it was already charted for that pale pink, yeah, that pale pinkish white AB that you're seeing there was already charted. The green ABs were already charted. And then the ones that were added in are basically the rest of these pinks and reds and everything into that red flower, just to really make it shimmer and shine. It looks beautiful. And then as we come down, not a lot of bling in this orange flower, which is fine. I decided to kind of leave it so it kind of faded into the background a little bit. There's a little bit into just naturally in that was originally in the original rendering. There's an orange AB. So I think what I'll do to kind of give you guys a feel for it is I'm going to kind of go off of my sheet here, so you can see what was charted based on and what we did. So I think that's what I'll do. And I think to do this, give you guys a little bit of a better look, I'm going to bring it down a little bit. That way you guys can see a little bit better. That'll give you guys the look right there. So that way you guys can see the moon. And then I'll leave my book right here so that way you can kind of see. So for the moon, we used, basically we replaced a bunch of the drills. This is what it was charted for on the left, if you can read my small handwriting. And then on the right is what it called to be replaced for. So basically it was adding in pewter sparklers, silver sparklers, 762 AB, and coffee sparklers. Kind of did those in reverse order. But so you can see here, these are what was to be added in. But with that being, let's see, pewter. There, that was the order. So those were the colors that were added in to give this shimmer. And it's pretty much in these details of the glisten of all of these little accents here. And then I was like, you know what? I don't like how much of this pewter, because it was like two different colors that I was adding pewter to. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I also added a 318 AB. So I also added this gray AB that I had, because it was very similar to a color that was already charted. So I also added that in this area as well, next to this pewter one. So I could have added just straight pewter, but I added this one as well. So it just added a little bit more of the depth, so it wasn't just solid straight pewter. And it could have been just straight pewter. So these were what was added for some of the detailing that you see in here around these accents in the moon area. So that's what we're seeing in here, were these colors for the detail work in all of those. It's beautiful, isn't it? Let me see if you can kind of see into one of them. So you can kind of see some of that detailing in there. Let me go ahead and zoom us back out a little bit. Get us back up to that'll work. I'm kind of right in there. Get my hand out of the way. All right, so let me go ahead and throw these back, and we're gonna go into pink flowers. And we'll just use this pink flower since it's right here. We have a nice, lovely pink flower right there. So we will just rotate over. So the pink flowers we used to take care of these ones. We have our pewter, silver, and coffee. If I don't take care of them, then it's going to make a mess. So for the pink flowers, we used crystal 150, which is right there. Glitter 600, which is this glittery red. 600 AB, which is going to be another red-ish pink. And then crystal 602, which is this soft pink. So these were the colors that we used, which really added a lot of gorgeous depth. To me, it really just makes the depth of this flower stand out. What I need to do is I need to look up and see what a regular unblinged version of this canvas and what this kit looks like. So like I said, we already had ABs here in the stamens, and you already had AB, yeah, in the greens. Those were already ABs. In this pale pink right here, that's already an AB. So this was the ABs that were, I'm gonna kind of pull these out. So these are the ABs that were charted, in case anyone wonders. There's a pink, there's an orange, 2 greens, and then this purpley blue, which is all around the moon here. That purpley blue is in this perimeter of the moon all the way around. And then also we'll see it up into the face. But these are the charted ABs. The yellowish green, orange, and the orange we see up in here. And then this really soft, pretty pink, which is in this flower, kind of in the softer tones of the flower, all accenting along there. And then we just added, pardon me as I have a sneeze. Pardon me. All right, and then we have the crystal, so the deep reds that you see in here, which adds so much depth with that crystal. It really adds that depth in there that you see with all of those dark reds. And then the glitter, which you can see interspersed in here, is this glitter, which was a beautiful addition. And then we go into just the red AB, which was another lovely addition along some of those areas all around, kind of accenting just as like little highlights, just little small sections. And then this beautiful pink crystal. I loved that addition of the pink crystal. So that's what we did for the pink flower. And these were all suggestions so far, minus the one change I made over here in the moon. These are all suggestions that were done by DP with Sparkler's suggestions. So I had not added anything minus the one little change. I was like, I want to see how it is doing ones. And this is something that they do. They do their suggestions and recommendations for free. If you go to their Facebook page or their website, they will have their recommendations usually posted up on like a Word document, and then they'll have it available where you can just purchase all of the drills for their kit, for their recommendations. You can purchase those drills on the website if you'd like. And I had some of the drills, and I purchased some of the drills. And then we come down, and the next thing, because I've already talked about the charted ABs, so I'm gonna put those away, and I'm not gonna talk about the charted ones. So now we are going to come into the purple and blue flower. The purple and blue flower up here, which is really mostly a purple flower, the only thing that they had was, I kind of wrote it wrong a little bit, were a couple small changes. So 209 AB, 552 crystal, which is a really pretty purple crystal, and 820 crystal, which is a blue crystal. So 2 crystals, which you can see, this is the blue crystal here as a perimeter, and here's the purple crystal up in here, which you can't, like, there you go. As it kind of catches the light, you can see the catch of that crystal. So it was this light purple AB that we see. Yeah. So this one right here, this light purple that we see throughout was the AB that was charted. And then those 2 crystals. That was it. And when I put those crystals down and then this little bit of the light AB that was in there, it was so little and not enough in here. And I was like, that's not going to balance well with how much we have in this pink, the pink down here, and the moon, and then the bling in her face. I was like, I feel like it needs more as an accent here in this corner. So I kind of looked through, I pulled out the colors that were left in here. I kind of pulled out the colors that were left, and I pulled out, and I looked through my stash to see what I had that was similar. And I found 3 others, and that's when I found these 3, which was the 3841 AB, which you can see that I added right in here as an AB here. So that lighter blue that you see primarily right there So I made that one in AB to add a little extra shimmer there. And then you have the 38-35. So I made this purple, which you can see kind of scattered a little bit more throughout, like right in here, right in here. And these were not colors that were really a big area. You can see this color I didn't have a good tone for, but that color. And that one is not an AB. That's just a solid color, which I think balanced really well with how I decided to do it. So this one kind of just filled in some of the accents of the other color. So that one I used as well. And then the last one was a 333 AB. And you can see that one filled in this other fill-in areas, which were just little spots here and there, like little peekaboo spots. So those were the other 3 ABs that I added to kind of enhance a little bit more in here, where I felt like it just needed that little extra oomph in this corner to balance what we had over here and what we had down in the moon and then the other pink flower, because those were very, very blingy, and it just didn't feel balanced with this one here, with how it would, with the suggestions they had made. So I just added a couple extra myself. And then the last 2 areas that I'm going to talk about, it's kind of like one area really, is going to be the face paint. So let me take care of those. And for the face paint, which is a big portion of it, like look at how beautiful she is. So, well, first off, for her ears, or her ears, oh my goodness, her eyes, you don't see her ears in this, her eyes, I'll talk about the eyes. So it basically replaced a lot of different colors that were supposed to transition for her eye. And I didn't do a ton. I kind of I was like, I could have filled in even more right through here and right in there, but I was like, I don't want to make it too much. But that was basically, a lot of it was clear crystals, which really catch the light. So a lot of clear crystals, or clear sparklers, clear sparklers, and then the 762 AB, so this gray AB. So those 2 you'll see in here when it catches the light just right. You'll see these 2 are the ones that make up this area. So there are ABs right here. You just can't tell with the way that the canvas is angled that there are ABs right in here as well as over in here. So those are the tiers, mostly the clear sparklers, which I like the clear sparkler look. And then same thing like right here, that's got some AB. And then the face paint. So for her face paint, nothing for the whites and grays of the actual background paint of the actual, that white part. Nothing for that. That was just as charted. But did use 798 AB. So this is what was recommended. So this was this lighter color here. A little bit of the 820 crystal. So this blue crystal. This was like a little bit of an accent to accent some of these tones right in here. And then a little bit of the 3812. So this beautiful, beautiful like aqua teal AB kind of throughout here. And that's what gives it some of that depth of tones that we see. So those were the 3 that I added, and that also I did for her lips as well. So I added some of that AB into her lips. I don't know whether that was the suggestion called for that, but that's what I did. Because that's the whole point, is like these are suggestions and then you do what you want with it. And that's how we got this incredible, incredible finish. I mean, look at how beautiful she is. So it gives you a close-up of her face. Here's a close-up of that flower, close-up of the pink flower there. Look at that sparkle. And this is like, I love that look. Grab another section for you all. I'm like, look at that. She's beautiful. So, so gorgeous. And I think she turned out beautiful. Absolutely incredible. The look on her face. I feel like you can really see the catch light and that glimmer in her eye. Like, I feel like that really comes through on this canvas, and I'm very pleased with that. I feel like that really does come through. So anyways, I'm pleased with this finish. She was a blast to work on, minus my frustrations with the adhesive. And yeah, let me know what you think about her and all of this extra bling in the comments below. And if you've done something as in-depth and complicated of a bling project as I've done on this one right here. But that is all I have for you guys for today. If you guys want to go ahead and have a wonderful rest of your day, I will talk to you in the next video. Have a great day, everybody.